News 2 is on tour all day today in Antioch. It's a community that has seen ups and downs over the years. City leaders say they are continuing to see challenges in the neighborhood. As part of a WKRM Plus special, our Sam Commenti had a long chat with two Metro Council members on how Antioch continues to evolve.
Looking back to last year in 2025 with all these developments and new places coming in, progress, the In-N-Out, big one, right? I was there in Antioch when In-N-Out opened. That was a big day. For each of you, question for each of you, what would you say the biggest positive, most momentum in Antioch in 2026 in this new year? Where do you think it's coming from? What do you think it is that's pushing Antioch forward this year?
Well, you talked about starting with something positive, almost as if there's only one or two positive things.
You're right, there's not.
I think there are a lot of positive things in the area. Okay. The growth can be positive, and some people look at the growth as not so positive. Antioch is still in a huge area in mine is Cane Ridge. Antioch still has a lot of greenery, a lot of open space, a lot of things like that. So I think there's a lot of positive there. The growth can be positive. We have a lot of new people moving in with new ideas, and that means doing things a little differently. And hopefully a piece of positivity out of that will also be that Metro puts more money in our area to help with some of the infrastructure.
Some people are excited about growth. Some people are cautious and concerned. And most of that concern is based on infrastructure. That's exactly what she's referring to. It is scary to grow when you are on a farm road. Yeah. Because you've got to find a way to get these cars safely down that same road. And if there's room to expand, then it's not as scary for people. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that makes people put the brakes on when it comes to development and new developments in our area.
But you talk about accepting the growth and balancing that, needing infrastructure. What would you say then, and that it might be the answer, what would you say is the biggest hurdle that Antioch faces in terms of continuing momentum and growth?
Well, in my area, I think one of the greatest hurdles will be to do it smartly. Not to just because you said it's a spillover from Nashville, and so everybody's moving here. You know how many people are moving to Nashville all the time, and so Antioch is still where you can find land, you can find housing, not quite as expensive. So everybody, and if you don't take 24,
nobody wants to take 24.
Then you can actually be in downtown Nashville in about 20 minutes. So they see our area as a good place to live, and that's positive, that's good. But you've got to look at how you're going to do that, and you've got to be smart about the type of growth and not just see it's a free-for-all, everybody come build here, we want you, we want you. We do want you, but we want to make sure that things are good and safe and top class for even our people who have lived there for ages.
Definitely agree with growing smart. And I think that's the key in Nashville as a whole. I think that's our challenge, is to keep growing, but grow smart. And there's a time when there's areas that are just saturated, and it's really difficult to continue to pack things in areas that have hit that saturation point. And I really appreciate you acknowledging that, Antoinette. I think that is a key for us to move forward.
And you can watch Sam's full interview with Council members Lee and Benton by going to our WKRM Plus Smart TV app at the top of the hour. In that full half-hour conversation, Sam talks with them about the future of Antioch and what's next for the growing part of Davidson County. Then stay with us at 12:30 for a half-hour conversation about Antioch's past with local historian David Ewing.